The year is 2029. Los Angeles is no longer the shining city people once knew. It is broken, tired, and dangerous. Crime is everywhere. Streets feel unsafe even during the day. At night, the city turns into something worse. Homelessness is at an all-time high. Jobs are hard to find. People are desperate, and desperate people do dangerous things. The prisons are full, too full. There is no more space. Courts are slow. Cases drag on for years, and victims never get justice. Police officers are dying in large numbers. Every day, more lives are lost. The system has failed, so the government creates something new, faster, and colder. They call it Mercy Court.
It's call for extreme measures. We need the Mercy Court.
It sounds kind, fair, but it's neither. It is run by artificial intelligence that can process evidence instantly and deliver a verdict within hours, giving accused individuals only 90 minutes to prove their innocence before they are executed immediately if they fail, making justice faster but far more terrifying because there is no room for error, no emotional understanding, and no second chances. Detective Christopher "Chris" Raven is one of the strongest supporters of this system, believing that it is the only way to restore order in a city that has lost control. And he has spent years defending it and helping bring criminals into its reach, never imagining that one day he would be the one sitting in the chair, restrained and helpless, as the system he trusted turns against him and accuses him of murdering his own wife, Nicole, a claim that shocks him deeply because he knows he did not kill her. Yet the AI judge known as Maddox does not care about his feelings or his denial, as it immediately begins presenting evidence that paints a very clear picture of guilt, starting with body cam footage from the crime scene showing Nicole lying on the kitchen floor, bleeding heavily while their daughter Britt cries nearby. And in her final moments when asked who attacked her, Nicole uses her last breath to say Chris's name, a moment that hits him like a blow because it sounds like undeniable proof, even though he insists it is not true. The evidence continues to stack up as Maddox reveals that Chris was the only person inside the house at the time of the murder, with doorbell camera footage showing him arriving that morning, entering the house, and staying inside for 26 minutes, which matches the estimated time of Nicole's death.
You spent 26 minutes inside the house with Nicole?
While forensic analysis confirms that the fatal wound was delivered by a right-handed attacker, and Chris is right-handed, and even worse, traces of Nicole's blood are found on his shirt, pushing the AI's calculation of his guilt to 97.5%, far above the threshold needed for execution, meaning that unless Chris can lower that number below 92% within the limited time he has, he will be killed without hesitation. As Chris tries to defend himself, he runs into a major problem because his memory of that morning is incomplete, with large gaps that he cannot explain, and Maddox takes advantage of this by showing additional footage of him later that day at a bar, drinking heavily and resisting arrest when officers try to detain him, something Chris does not remember at all, leaving him confused and shaken as he begins to question whether it is possible that he lost control and did something terrible without realizing it, especially when Maddox calmly suggests that alcohol and trauma could have caused him to forget committing the crime, a possibility that hangs over him as the clock continues to tick down. Determined to find the truth, Chris uses the system's access to information to dig deeper into his own life, uncovering painful details that begin to explain the tension between him and Nicole, including the fact that she had been seeing another man named Patrick Burke, which adds another layer of emotional conflict to an already complicated situation, while also forcing Chris to confront his own struggles with alcoholism, something he had worked hard to overcome in the past but fell back into after the tragic death of his former partner Ray Vale.
What happened? What happened, baby?
Ray's dead.
An event that deeply affected him because he believes he could have prevented it if he had acted differently. A guilt that slowly pushed him back toward drinking and damaged his relationship with Nicole, who had supported him through his recovery but eventually grew tired of his relapse and the strain it placed on their marriage. As Chris pieces together his memory of that morning, he recalls going to work and reaching for a hidden bottle of alcohol in his car, only to find it missing, realizing that Nicole must have discovered it and thrown it away, which makes him angry enough to return home and confront her, leading to a heated argument in which both of them say things they cannot take back, and in a moment of frustration, Chris smashes a vase that Nicole loves, causing glass to shatter and accidentally cut her, which explains the presence of her blood on his shirt. But beyond that moment, his memory fades again, leaving him unable to say what happened next, and whether someone else could have been involved. As the investigation continues, Chris begins to suspect that something bigger is at play, especially when he uncovers strange details connected to people around him, including his sobriety sponsor, Rob Nelson, who initially seems like a supportive figure but gradually becomes more suspicious as evidence of missing chemicals and unusual behavior starts to surface, leading Chris to explore further until he discovers that someone had been secretly watching his home, even hiding nearby without being noticed.
He came for the party, ride shared to get there. Everyone thought he got a lift home.
A revelation that shifts the entire case because it suggests that Nicole's murder may have been part of a larger plan rather than a simple domestic conflict. The truth becomes clearer when Chris connects Rob to a past case involving Mercy Court, revealing that Rob's brother David Webb was one of the first individuals executed by the system, and that Chris himself played a role in bringing him in, which gives Rob a powerful motive for revenge, not only against Chris but against the entire system that he believes wronged his brother, turning the situation into something far more dangerous than Chris initially thought, as it is no longer just about proving his innocence, but also about stopping someone who is willing to go to extreme lengths to destroy everything he blames for his loss. With time running out, Chris works with his partner Jacqueline Jack Diallo to track Rob's movements, leading to a discovery of explosives and detailed plans for an attack that confirms Rob's intentions to carry out a large-scale act of destruction, while at the same time proving that Nicole's death was likely part of his plan to frame Chris and create chaos, which finally shifts the AI's calculation and clears Chris of the murder charge, bringing an end to the trial just as the real danger begins to unfold outside the courtroom. Chris tries to reach his daughter Britt to make sure she is safe, only to discover through surveillance footage that Rob has kidnapped her and placed her inside a truck filled with explosives, turning the situation into a desperate race against time as law enforcement attempts to intercept the vehicle before it reaches its target, which is revealed to be the Mercy Court building itself, as Rob intends to destroy the system in a single devastating act that will not only kill those inside, but also send a message about its flaws and the innocent lives it has taken. The chase intensifies as Jack leads the effort to stop Rob, with police units closing in and attempting various strategies to disable the truck, including deploying a bomb robot designed to detonate underneath it. But the plan fails when the device does not explode as expected, allowing Rob to continue his path toward the building without slowing down, while Chris pleads for caution because his daughter is still inside, creating a tense conflict between the need to stop the threat and the desire to save an innocent life. When Rob finally reaches Mercy Court, he crashes the truck into the building, causing widespread damage and forcing the system to shut down temporarily, trapping Chris inside as security protocols activate and leaving him with no way out until Maddox reboots and restores access just in time for him to escape and confront Rob directly,
Chris?
You got me, Maddox.
Yep, I have you.
leading to a physical struggle between the two men that reflects the deeper conflict between justice and revenge, as Chris manages to overpower Rob and has the opportunity to kill him but hesitates when his daughter pleads with him to stop, supported by Maddox's calm reasoning, which ultimately convinces Chris to lower his weapon and choose a different path, proving that he is not defined by anger or violence despite everything he has been through. In the final moments, Jack intervenes and shoots Rob, ending the immediate threat, but not before Rob reveals a shocking truth about his brother's case, claiming that David Webb was innocent and had evidence that could have proven it, which leads Maddox to uncover proof that the evidence was deliberately removed by Jack herself in an attempt to ensure that Mercy Court appeared effective and successful, exposing a major flaw in the system and revealing that even a process designed to eliminate human bias can still be manipulated by those who control it, resulting in innocent people being executed and justice being compromised in ways that are just as dangerous as the problems the system was meant to solve. As the situation comes to a close, both Jack and Rob are taken into custody, leaving Chris to reunite with his daughter and reflect on everything that has happened, including the realization that the system he once trusted is far from perfect, and that true justice cannot exist without accountability and humanity, while Maddox shuts down and Chris's case is officially dismissed, bringing an end to a story that not only challenges the idea of technological solutions to complex problems, but also highlights the importance of truth, choice, and the ability to change even in the face of overwhelming pressure, leaving Chris and Britt standing together in a city that is still broken but offering a sense of hope that things can be different if people are willing to see the flaws in what they once believed and choose a better path forward. And that's how it all comes to an end, with the truth finally revealed and the system that once seemed perfect exposed for its flaws. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next one.